The following program was paid for by Templar Real Estate. The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of the staff and management of WMTR. As always, it is advisable to consult a professional before making a major decision. It's time now for the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. Here's your host for the program, Joseph J. Zoppi.
Hello, welcome to the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. My name is Joseph J. Zoppi, a real estate investor, consumer advocate, author, and managing partner of Templar Real Estate Enterprises. You could reach us at templarcashforhouses.com. That's TEMPLAR cashforhouses.com. Or you could call us at 973-240-8593. We could answer any questions you may have, or you could email us from our website as well on any questions, or if you want a specific topic discussed on this radio show. For first-time listeners, my company is a real estate investment firm. We buy houses for cash. We purchase apartment buildings. We do joint ventures with other real estate investors. We loan money for rehabs and provide transactional and gap funding as well. We work with the individuals that want to invest with us in single-family houses up to apartment buildings. We do not speculate. We're very protective of our money and our investors' money. We're not a brokerage, and I'm not a real estate agent, but I have individuals on staff that are agents that could sell your house through the traditional multiple listing service. This show is going to go over everything there is about real estate and those things that impact real estate. We'll talk about our rehabs and some of our investments. We'll talk about what went well, what did not go well, and how we learned from it. We'll talk about the economy and interest rates. We'll discuss trends in the real estate market. Real estate is one of your biggest investments, so it's important you know as much as possible about it. I'm going to provide you with my opinion. It's only my opinion. I ask everyone always to do lots of research, whether you're going to work with us or any other company or any other contractor. I always ask you, make sure you do a lot of research. Make sure you look at the Better Business Bureau, see what their reviews are of the particular company. Is the company certified or registered with the Better Business Bureau? These are all things that you could look at, as well as references. Again, with the reference, make sure very, very, very important with references. Just because someone else likes that person doesn't mean you'll like that person. I always say, sometimes you see a friend's spouse, you go, I don't know how they got together because I couldn't do it. So remember that. So that's the spouse example. So always think about that. So, because, you have some individuals, they're together and you're like, you scratch your head and you say, I couldn't do it. So the same thing with contractors. You might like a contractor, someone else may not. So you got to really be very specific when you ask the questions about using someone else's service or anything associated with that. To my favorite listeners, I'd like to do a special shout out, as always, to Paulette, our famous crossing guard from Livingston, as well as Tim from Cedar Grove, as well as Janet and John. I'd like to say hi. They're new listeners, so I'd like to say hi. Welcome aboard, guys. Hopefully you enjoy it. I'd also like to thank my private investors that help Templar be even more successful and more profitable. It's a win-win situation for both us and our investors. So we're always very happy to work with individuals that want to invest with us. So a couple other things I want to say. So we're very unapologetic about how good we feel we are and how passionate we are about our company. We think we're the best around, and we work extremely, extremely hard to ensure that our clients are, number one, they're always taken care of, and do whatever we need to ensure that they're happy and they're successful at the net result of the transaction. And that's extremely, extremely important to us. So whether it's our investors, our clients, or our staff, we strive, and as one of the leaders of this organization, we strive to the nth degree to make sure that we're providing the best service and we're always on top of it. It's not just, again, providing great service is one thing, but also communicating. That's extremely important. That's probably more important than, you have to set clear expectations and communicate constantly. And that's probably the biggest thing is that we always, always, always work to ensure that we have we're on top of our communication and the staff is always responding to our clients' needs and our investors' needs. It's that simple. Also, I continue to have private discussions on investing in real estate, and that's more from an educational perspective. It's not based on a particular deal we have, it's more of an educational. So, we do a lot of one on ones also with individuals that are wanting to invest in multifamily and single family houses. If you're interested, please give us a call. We could set up a session. We'd be more than happy to. Again, if you need to sell your house fast, or even if you don't need to sell it fast, if you just need to sell your house, please give us a call. Again, we buy houses in New Jersey. That's everywhere. So again, I have individuals that always call us and say, well, I see your website and it says we buy houses in New Jersey. It says but, and then there's always the but. Do you buy houses in Lyndhurst? I go, yes, we buy houses in Lyndhurst, New Jersey. Definitely. We buy houses in Piscataway, New Jersey. We buy houses in North Jersey. We buy houses in Paramus. So we buy houses wherever in New Jersey. We just bought a house in Long Branch, New Jersey. So we buy it throughout the state, and we'd be more than happy to go wherever we need to. We have two offices, one in Parsippany and one in Princeton, but we cover the entire state. So again, if you need for us to buy your house or you want to sell for cash, we will do it. Also, if you're just selling a house in New Jersey and you want to give us a call, you call Templar. Be more than happy to jump on a call with you, visit you, and we could sell it through the traditional MLS, or we could just buy it outright. A couple other things I'd like to talk about today. I've been bringing it up lately. I'm going to continue to bring it up about mortgage forbearance that's ending, as well as the eviction moratorium. So in New Jersey, it's going to end at the end of the year, and we'll see what happens after that. The government you have all these programs for giving out money to help renters and also landlords, but as the government always does, the government passes all these different programs, but you can't get the money. So they make the bureaucracy really hard and really tough, and as a result of it, you can't get the money. So there's, from a percentage perspective, it's really low throughout the nation in terms of helping the renters as well as the landlords. And it's just government. I'm just always against the government with all this bureaucracy and everything else that's associated with it. And they make things very, very difficult for people. They pass these laws and they pass these programs and everyone's, cheering it, but then you can't get the money. I know people that have kids with special ed needs, and they have a problem getting the services. And the bureaucracy and the people just don't want to give it. And these people and their kids need it. And those individuals that are well educated keep fighting for it, whereas the ones that are not as educated give up and give up quickly. And they say, okay, I guess I can't. And that's a major problem. And I've had this issue, and I always complain about the government because of these types of things. And it's ridiculous. A couple other things. I want to talk about contractors and vendors. So something happened just very recently. I've been venting about my contractors making some mistakes, but one of my contractors for HVAC, which stands for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, uh, he just did a horrendous job, and it reminds me of something that we normally do, and we did it a couple months ago, 3 months ago, where every year we review all our contractors, all our vendors we use, and we base it on quality, price, meeting our overall needs, and then we, rank them and say, yeah, should we keep them or not? And most of them we do keep, the majority of them we do, probably 90 something percent. But there's a few sometimes that fall out, they're not meeting the needs that we want, so on and so forth. So we look other places. There's always another contractor around. So, too bad contractors don't think too much with that because they always think, well, I'll get another client. But, getting another customer costs money. And if you have someone that you like, they give lots of references. So, people are sometimes short sighted. Well, with my HVAC guy, he had canceled 6 times, and then every time he went up for a couple of days, then he canceled, then he went up, and my guys usually never do that. So that already got under my skin. And the next thing is they started running ductwork, and the ductwork was horrendous. It was like, I don't know, Mickey Mouse did it or someone. It was really bad. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, I can't believe this. And he said he was going to fix it. This was a couple of days ago. And then I got a call from one of my guys saying, Joe, it's still unworkable. I can't close up the ductwork and make it look good. It's just because the ductwork is so bad that when you box it in or cover it with your drywall, it says it's just the ceiling's going to be so low, it's just going to be horrendous. So I started looking for another HVAC guy. I have one house going on that I'm starting to do in Denville. So originally I had one quoted out, and now I'm looking for someone else. So I had two people take a look at the house, and I had the one guy that came today. I said, "Can you take a look at my other house in Long Valley?" And he said, "Sure." And he said, "Joe, this is just a butcher job." I said, "Yeah, I know it's a butcher job." And he's like, "Well, he's has flex duct here, and it should have been he could have just had the one pipe come down, insulated it." And I said, "Yeah, I figured that." And you know, uh, I don't know everything about HVAC or electricity or plumbing, but I know enough, and I could spot certain things definitely. I can't spot the pure technical side always, but I know the way certain things need to be done and when they're not done the right way. And this one was just really bad. So he looked at it. He said, "Joe, I don't even know how to quote it out." He said it would have to be T&M. So what T&M is time and materials. I said, "Okay, give me a price on time and materials for it." I had contacted my original HVAC guy. I says, "Listen, I got someone going there. It's really lousy. The one job you're supposed to do, I'm putting on hold. And this one, he says, well, I'll come out there. I said, yeah, you come out on Monday. We'll go over it. But it's just horrendous. And I says, you've been with me for 3.5 years. I says, I really don't complain much. I complain on a few things. Relatively speaking, I'm satisfied with your work and the price. But this was just, it was a monkey show. And he said, yeah, Joe, I'll be there. And that's the thing. He knows. I says, listen, if I don't say anything, that's even worse because that means it's gone. But to be honest, right now, I think I'm just going to do these two houses that I have contracted with them and move on, unfortunately. So we'll see. But I'm just totally dissatisfied. And, you know, he changed his mind too many times. So, and canceled on me and canceled on me and canceled on me. So that doesn't go well with me. I expect certain things, they expect certain things. I deliver on them. So I expect the same thing on the flip side. So another thing, I was looking at a house a couple days ago and came into the house. It's a ranch. Needed work, like pretty standard and stuff. But there was like three dogs in there, and I like dogs. They're like all jumping on top of me and stuff. So I don't mind that as long as they don't bite me and take some a chunk out of me. I'm pretty cool with that. So they're running around. The guy's yelling at them. Dogs aren't listening. I'm looking at it, taking pictures, looking at everything, and like that stuff doesn't really bother me. But we were going down the basement, and he said, well, there's some mold down there, and I'm like, okay. And when I walked on the carpet, it was just soaked with water. And he told me, he said, Joe, I think the gutters were clogged possibly, or which I didn't. That much water there is no way. And I said, oh, okay. And he said, well, I just got the foundation fixed. I'm like, really? I go, this doesn't look good. I'm going, I don't know. I'm just saying to myself, it's just not right. And then I looked over and, one wall was just all mold on it. All mold, plus some other spots. I was like, holy mackerel. The guy's living in this house. And it's just really bad. And I'm looking at it. I saw some vertical cracks on the floor, on the walls. So there's a couple things. One thing is there's two different types of cracks, vertical cracks and horizontal cracks. Vertical cracks, they're repaired fairly quickly. Um, you should fix them sooner than later so they don't turn into a bigger issue and become a major structural issue. So that's the first thing. Horizontal cracks usually, now that's where the walls start. There's some, we'll say, direct issues with poor drainage, soil pressure, things like that, where things are starting to separate. And horizontal cracks are a lot worse, for the most part, than vertical cracks. So you'll see a lot of times vertical cracks, you'll see it go along the seams from, some bricks or cinder blocks, so on and so forth. Again, for the most part, it's not too bad. Once you start getting into horizontal cracks, that's where you start worrying more about some major issues. So I didn't see any horizontal cracks, but I wasn't sure where the water was coming from, if it was coming through the slab or where, but there was some major issues with it. And the prices that he said that investors were giving him were crazy prices. And I was like, I'm definitely not doing it for that price in terms of buying it. So what I'll probably do is whoever buys it, I'll make sure I know who that person is, and I'll sell some of my houses to them to fix up because they're paying way more than is reasonable, and that's also if they stay in business, which is more like the case because that's I price that out at could be up to $50,000 in terms of problems with that. So my difference in price was like 50,000 at least, if not more. So that's a big difference. So we'll see, but some of these people are just buying houses and saying, "Oh, I could just fix it and that's it," and that's not the case, especially with something as bad as that. There was a lot of water in there, and it wasn't really visible where that water was coming from. And if he had foundation corrections in the foundation and water's coming in like that, that's a real problem. So let me close out right now. We'll be right back. My number is 973-240-8593. Again, 973-240-8593 or TemplarCashForHouses.com. Thank you.
Life can be a roller coaster, and sometimes you need to sell your house fast. That's why there's TemplarBuysHouses.com. Maybe you're downsizing, getting a divorce, having health or financial issues. If so, head to TemplarBuysHouses.com. TEMPLAR BuysHouses.com. TemplarBuysHouses.com will buy your house quickly and without hassle. If you've inherited a house that is vacant, contact TemplarBuysHouses.com. Dealing with them is easy and quick. No high-pressure sales tactics, and you won't have to fix up the house. They will buy your house as is. You pick the closing date and when you move out. No commissions and no hassles. Contact TemplarBuysHouses.com. TEMPLAR BuysHouses.com. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Call 973-315-7990. That's 973-315-7990.
Be sure to listen to the podcast of the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. Find it now at TemplarBuysHouses.com.
Hello, welcome back to the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. This is Joseph J. Zoppi, Managing Partner of Templar Real Estate Enterprises. You can reach us at 973-240-8593. Again, that's 973-240-8593 or TemplarCashForHouses.com. That's TEMPLAR cashforhouses.com. That's one word. So I only have a few minutes left for this show, so I'll just go over a couple of things. I've talked about this a couple times about rent. So rent's soaring throughout the country. Right now, CoreLogics, which does statistics and things like that for real estate as well as some other areas, they had an update and they said the national year-over-year increase for May was like 6.6%, and that's up from 1.7 in May of last year. Also, rents in Phoenix have gone up the most, which is where there's tons of expansion down there. And those rents were up 14%. Tucson was the second highest and had about 11%. And then Las Vegas was, I think, third around 11, a little less than 11% year over year increase. And it's going up everywhere, even on lower income type houses. Like it's approximately about 4.6%. So it's going up everywhere. Now, I've said it before, to a mastermind, and we go over trends throughout the country. So I'm hearing what's going on also. And this one woman was speaking, and she's out of Arizona, which is where Phoenix and the other one, Tucson is. And she said that now again rents are cheaper down there than they are up here. So she had someone leave one of her rentals, and she raised it $400, and she got someone to within 2 days. So it's crazy where the rents are going, and that's going to add to inflation. So, it's just one thing after another. That's why I keep talking about inflation, because these are the things that are going to impact us, a year from now. And I think everyone needs to be wary of that. No matter what the government says about, well, it's transitory or so on and so forth, they're praying that it's transitory. We'll put it at that. But I do not think that's the case. It's just, I do not. So, there was an individual, he's a billionaire, uh, what they call bond king, that's his term, Jeffrey Gundlach. And I was reading an article that he spoke about a couple things about the economy and stuff. And he said that, with what's going on through government intervention, it's very, very hard to figure out what's going on or what's going to happen as a result of it. Well, he knows probably what's going to happen, but it's very, very difficult. He says the punch bowl is very deep and it's spiked pretty heavy with 100% liquor. And once the party ends, the hangover is going to be in the form of a sharp drop in economic growth. And that's what I believe. And, when you pump money in and you keep pumping it, it's artificial. And you have all this money that's coming in. You have people that aren't working and they're trading stock and the stock's going up, and, they don't need to work and they're getting unemployment. And, we have right now, 10 million jobs, I think, that are open right now, but people don't want to go back to work. And this gentleman, he described it. He says it's like a waterbed. He says you push on one side, the other side goes up, and weird things happen. You can't really compare it to a particular time in this, previously. So you're pushing on this waterbed, and it's just reacting, and you're not really sure what's going to happen or how it's going to react. And I think that's a pretty good example or analogy to this. And he said the same thing with the unemployment. He said, it's really fascinating. It's kind of seminal to the screwed up nature of the economy. And that's exactly the same thing. And that's something I've been talking about for so long. And the issue is what makes it so funny is that government right now is saying that, and they're praying that inflation is going to be transitory. But we have, relatively speaking, a lot of high unemployment to some extent. And you have individuals that are home. And then you have the specific party in power right now is saying, well, you got to pay more money to get individuals to work. You're not paying enough. So then that's going to add to inflation. So it's just, they're talking out of both sides of their mouth. So this is just ridiculous. And then, this individual also said, and like I've been saying, wait till the eviction moratorium ends. He says all the consequences associated with that, and he thinks rents are going to go way up, and I think so too. I think they're going to go up even more. So you're going to have employment in terms of individuals wanting to be paid more money. You have rent going up. We have issues right now with oil and the price of it. And the Biden administration is pushing on OPEC to raise their output. And I don't know if they're going to do that. And then we have issues with supply chain. We have Toyota has, I don't know how many thousands of cars they can't put on the lot because of there's no chips or computer chips for them. They're in China, and China I don't think is giving them up too easily. So we have some major issues, and even though we have all this money coming in, there's going to be a problem one of these days. So unfortunately, I got to close out. Thank you very much. But one last thing I'd like to say, and what Gunlich also said, it says the officials, and this is so perfect, the officials have a tiger by the tail, and for now, they're not getting clawed or mauled by the tiger. But once they let go of the tail of the tiger, they're going to likely get mauled, and that's what's going to happen. And I think that is perfect. That is a perfect statement. So I got to close out now. Again, my number is 973-240-8593 or TemplarCashForHouses.com. Again, if you need to sell your house fast for cash, please give us a call. If you need to sell through the traditional multiple listing service, we'd be more than happy to help you. Take care, everyone. God bless you and your family. Thank you again. Bye.
Life can be a roller coaster, and sometimes you need to sell your house fast. That's why there's TemplarBuysHouses.com. Maybe you're downsizing, getting a divorce, having health or financial issues. If so, head to TemplarBuysHouses.com. TemplarBuysHouses.com. TemplarBuysHouses.com will buy your house quickly and without hassle. If you've inherited a house that is vacant, contact TemplarBuysHouses.com. Dealing with them is easy and quick. No high-pressure sales tactics, and you won't have to fix up the house. They will buy your house as is. You pick the closing date and when you move out. No commissions and no hassles. Contact TemplarBuysHouses.com. TemplarBuysHouses.com. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Call 973-315-7990. That's 973-315-7990.
Be sure to listen to the podcast of the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. Find it now at TemplarBuysHouses.com.
The preceding program was paid for by Templar Real Estate. The views and opinions expressed are not necessarily those of the staff and management of WMTR. As always, it is advisable to consult a professional before making a major decision.